worst big three is the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant, Jaren Jackson, Jonas Valanciunas. This isn't a big three. This is a tiny three. They are last place. If you're not subscribed, you're crazy. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. We're trying to hit 1.7 million today. Also, hit that notification bell to join Noti Gang. So every time I upload a fire video, you're not gonna miss it. New York Knicks. RJ Barrett, Marcus Morris, and Julius Randle. It's a bad big three, but they're tanking for LaMelo Ball, so it doesn't matter. Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young. That's it. You really want to see the whole big three? Fine. Kevin Huerter and John Collins. They can all score, but none of them can play defense. Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and Richaun Holmes. They've got two big names, but it's actually Richaun Holmes that has played the best. What a surprise. Golden State Warriors. D'Angelo Russell, Draymond Green, and Eric Pascal. His name sounds like a math teacher, but Mr. Pascal has actually been balling this season. Draymond is the worst player in this group. Even worse, he shrunk. We thought he was 6'8", but the NBA exposed his true height, 6'6". How are you a big man, but you're the size of a guard? Exposed! Charlotte Hornets. Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, Cody Zeller. A bunch of no-names. But somehow, these three players are averaging 50 points per game combined. Devontae Graham is having an all-star season, and the Hornets might make the playoffs. Orlando Magic. Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Vucevic. Wait, what about Mo Bamba? More like no Bamba. He's been awful. Jonathan Isaac has been incredible. Besides Anthony Davis, he's been the best defensive player. They would be higher on the list, but Aaron Gordon and Nikola Vucevic are having a down year so far. But hopefully they pick it up. Cleveland Cavaliers. Jordan Clarkson, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson. This seems too good to be true. And you're right, it is. The Cavs are about to trade Love and Tristan. I really feel bad for all the Cavs fans out there. All three of them. Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Mark Cuban, and Wendell Carter Jr. This is actually a really talented big three. The reason the Bulls lose games isn't their players, it's their coaching. But it's okay because nobody watches the Bulls. Oklahoma City Thunder. Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, and Steven Adams. Wait, what about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? He is the future of the team. The Thunder have been better than expected. It looks like they're gonna make the playoffs, and CP3 has been playing better than Russell Westbrook. Maybe the Thunder won the trade with the Rockets. I'm just saying. San Antonio Spurs. DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge. Oh my goodness, what a great start. Well, their third player is DeJounte Murray. He's the slowest point guard in the NBA, and his three-point percentage is gross. And the Spurs are gonna miss the playoffs. I think it's time for Popovich to get a jersey and carry the team himself. New Orleans Pelicans. Drew Holiday, JJ Redick, and Brandon Ingram. JJ Redick ruins this big three. To be honest, Zion Williamson with one knee might be a better option. Drew Holiday and Brandon Ingram have put the entire Pelicans franchise on their back. But until Zion returns, say goodbye to the playoffs. Washington Wizards, the biggest surprise of the video. Isaiah Thomas, Bradley Beal, and another player that sounds like a math teacher, Davis Bertans. This month, Mr. Bertans is scoring 22 points per game, and his three-point percentage is 49%. Isaiah is scoring 19 points per game. Bradley Beal 26 points per game. The Wizards have quietly become a good team. Keep it between us before the rest of the NBA finds out. Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker, Kelly Oubre Jr., and DeAndre Ayton is finally back from his suspension. The Suns have a decent record without their superstar center. Now that he's back, this is a real team. Last year, we only knew Kelly Oubre Jr. because he had some cool outfits, not because of his basketball. But this year, it's because of his basketball. He's actually a good player. Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving, Spencer Dinwiddie. How are there 2 point guards in a big three? I don't know. And Kevin Durant. Psych! He's not back yet. It's Jarrett Allen as his replacement. Kyrie has so much talent, but the Nets have a better record without him this season than with him. It's actually these two guys that have been carrying them. But when they get KD next season, they'll be a top 5 big three. Indiana Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo, and Domantas Sabonis. Oladipo is still out, so we need a replacement, and it's Miles Turner. He's okay, but these are the real stars of the big three. Brogdon is doing even better than he was on the Milwaukee Bucks, and Sabonis, most improved player of the year, has been incredible. No one really talks about the Pacers or their players, but that doesn't mean they don't have a great big three. Denver Nuggets, the number 2 team in the West? How are they not a top 5 big three? Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. If I was ranking the entire roster, Denver would be like number 3. Toronto Raptors. They're the champions, and their big three is only number 13? They have Kyle Lowry, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam. These are all B-plus players. Like, there's no star, there's no weakness. It's a slightly above average big three. Portland Trailblazers. The first two are obvious, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. And the third player is Hassan Whiteside. Actually, not anymore. I never thought I'd say this, but Carmelo Anthony is once again in a big three. It looks like those gym sessions with Chris Brickley paid off. We weren't sure he was going to come back to the NBA, but if he did, he'd just be off the bench. He turned the Blazers from a losing team to a winning team. But just like every single season, the Blazers have some great stars, but the rest of their team is doo-doo. Miami Heat. The rookie Kendrick Nunn, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo. 2 of these players, you didn't know their names last year. And now they're on a big three of one of the best teams in the East. They got the 3-point scoring with Kendrick, the defense with Jimmy, the rebounding and blocks from Bam. And most importantly, they are all young. So watch out, Eastern Conference. The Miami Heat are gonna cause some trouble. Moving on to the top 10 big threes. Number 10, Boston Celtics. Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. All of them are scoring 20 points per game. The real surprise is Jaylen Brown. He wasn't looking too hot last year, but he really improved. Number 9, Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, and Tim Hardaway Jr. It must be nice to have 2 superstars like these guys. Oh, Luka, you twisted your ankle? No big deal. I'll drop 40 points. Oh, Kristaps, you hit the ceiling and got a concussion? No big deal. I'll drop a triple-double and win MVP. And then you have Tim Hardaway Jr. because they don't have any other good players on the entire team. Number 8, Minnesota Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, and who? Who's the third player? Robert Covington. At least he can play defense, because if Robert Covington couldn't play defense, he probably wouldn't be in the NBA. Number 7, Detroit Pistons. What? The Pistons so high? Yup. Check this out. Derrick Rose, Blake Balake Griffin, and Andre Drummond. Bro, this is insane because the Pistons obviously are not that good. But when they're all healthy and they're all playing, this big three is great. Number 6, Utah Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Spider Mitchell, and Rudy Gobert. This looks about right, but it's wrong. Mike Conley is not in the big three. That spot goes to Bojan Bogdanovic. He is scoring 21 points per game. The problem with these guys is they're super inconsistent. One day, the Jazz beats the Lakers, and then the next day, they lose to the Hornets. If you want to be in my top 5, you need to be a consistent big three. You're not consistent right now, but they're still very talented. Number 5, Milwaukee Bucks. Eric Gordon, Chris Middleton, and this might be a little controversial, but it's Brook Lopez. Giannis is actually their 4th best player. I'm kidding, relax. Obviously, it's Giannis. He's been the MVP of this season. If we're being honest, this isn't a big three. It's a big one. These guys are good, but Giannis is the king. Literally, when he was beating the Lakers, he took the crown and put it on his head. They're only number 5 for the big three, but they're probably the best team in the league. Number 4, Philadelphia 76ers. 3-time Rookie of the Year, Ben Simmons, Al Horford, and Joel Embiid. We already knew Joel Embiid was an amazing defender. We already knew Al Horford was an amazing defender, and now they're playing next to each other. That's defenseception. As a team, they have not lived up to expectations. But that's not the big three fault. These are all-star players. It's because the rest of their team. I mean, look at them. Can you name any of these players? Number 3, Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and who? Give me Lou Williams. He is the 3rd player of the big three. You know what? When you're scoring over 20 points per game on the bench, you deserve it. When you ask someone who are the 2 best defensive players in the league, they might say Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and they're both in this big three. That is unfair. Number 2, Houston Rockets. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Clint Capella. When you have James Harden scoring 39 points per game, the other 2 players could be me and me again, and they would still be one of the best big threes. But they have someone a little bit better than me, Russell Westbrook. As a Westbrook fan, I gotta be honest, he's not having a good year. His 3-point percentage is 23%. When Harden is getting double teamed and your 3-point percentage is that low, that's not very good. Clint Capella is the reason they're here. 14 points and 15 rebounds. He has made the Rockets a good defensive team. He is so much more important than people give him credit for, and he makes them number 2, but they are not better than the next team. Number 1, the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, the best duo in the league. And the 3rd player is Kyle Kuzma. Psych, it's Dwight Howard. Double psych, it's Rajon Rondo. I've called him trash this year. I said he should be traded. I was wrong. By some miracle, he is having his best season since 2008 when he won the title with the Celtics. Bro, his 3-point percentage is almost 50%. The Lakers are number 1 in the West, and they can thank these guys. Last video, I did 9 NBA players that are about to be traded. Go watch that right now. I also uploaded my first video on my NFL channel. Both those videos will be on the screen. Go watch one of them, or both of them.